another video where today I'm going to do my Week 9 NFL picks and my pregame spiel with my special guest that I have here today. It is a friend that I know so well when I'm in high school in my freshman and sophomore year. I like to introduce to you all Brighton. He is a huge Seattle sports fan. So, Brighton, without further ado, introduce yourself to the people who you are.
Hey, I'm Brandon, as Mark said, and I've been on one video a few months ago for Mariners Orioles, and we're here today because Seahawks Ravens Sunday. We've been waiting for this game all year. We're ready to see who's the better team. And let's get these picks done.
All right, so as we all know, I have my notes here on the teams that are playing, and we will get this pregame spiel out of the way. So without further ado, let's get into the Week 9 picks. So starting off with Thursday Night Football, which we have tonight at 8:20 East Time, 5:20 Pacific Time. We got the Tennessee Titans heading to Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. So for my picks that I have right here, I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans because I think their defense will stop Kenny Pickett, who is going to play tonight. And I just think that Derrick Henry will somehow get through that Steelers defense that does consist of TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward, who is going to play tonight. And I just think that their quarterback, Will Levis, who is their starter, will just somehow expose this secondary, which needs a lot of work from there. So, Brighton, what's your pick for this Thursday night game?
Yeah, both teams, they're all right. Neither of them is great. Neither of them is bad. At the end of the day, I'm going to have to go with the Titans. They played good last week, and Will Levis played pretty good, and I don't have a whole lot of faith in Kenny Pickett right now or the Steelers as a whole, especially with how bad Matt Canada's been doing, as everyone knows. I'm going to have to go with the Titans.
Yes, and I
think
think
it'll be 17-13.
All right. Yes, I do think it's a defensive game, but at the end, I think Tennessee and Mike Vrabel will advance from there. So, we got that Thursday night game out of the way. Now let's go into the Sunday games, and we're going to start off with a really interesting matchup on Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. East Time, which 6:30 you should be still asleep by now. But going into this Germany game right here, between the Dolphins and the Chiefs right here, battle of 6-2 teams fighting for that top spot in the AFC. So for my pick, I had a really tough time picking this game because these are two well-matched offenses. Defensively, they could get exposed in this game. I'm going to go with a high score of 35-31, but at the end, I hate to say, I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill in this one than the Dolphins. Chiefs offense struggled last week against a Broncos team that had low expectations in that game, but they somehow stopped their losing streak to the Chiefs, and their defense just got suffocated. So I do think Miami's speedy offense will somehow take control of this game in Germany, but I do think it's going to be close, and their defense will somehow get pressure on Patrick Mahomes in a close matchup. So what's your pick, Brighton?
Yeah, we got our Germany game of the year, and I'm going to have to go with the Dolphins as well. I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Chiefs, especially after, as you know, they lost pretty bad to the Broncos and Russell Wilson in Denver. I'm going to have to go with the Dolphins. The Dolphins have been playing great, and the Chiefs have been playing, they've been all right, but nothing special. I'm going to go with Dolphins.
And yes, so that everybody knows right here, Miami has the best offense in the league thus far. All right, next game right here, the matchup that me and Brighton have been waiting for. We got his Seahawks going against my Ravens, which I know we're going to pick our teams, obviously, because of how we're going to match up against each other. So let's start off with how my Ravens can get it done. I just do believe that the defense that we have is top 10 defense. We just got to generate pressure against Geno Smith and stop the run game. As for our run game, we got to keep running the football with authority. And that passing game with Odell Beckham Jr., Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, and of course, Devin Duvernay and Lamar Jackson. Just got to use their speeds to their advantage. And obviously, coaching. John Harbaugh's got to make the right decisions. Todd Monken's got to call a great game, as well as Mike McDonald, the defensive coordinator. And we just need to be well-balanced. So, Brighton, what do your Seahawks need to do to beat my Ravens?
Yeah, my Seahawks, they played pretty good last week against a pretty good defense in the Browns. And I think we gotta step up our offense. Our offense did not play great last week. We had good drives. We played great first quarter, and then throughout the game they stopped. And then until that comeback, we had the end of the game after the interception. If you saw that, it went off of Jamal Adams' helmet and flew 20 yards, and then we got the pick. And then Geno Smith clutched up, touchdown, Jackson Smith and Jigba, the rookie, for the win in that game. We just got to do the same thing this week and stay consistent on offense throughout the entire game. And our defense just keeps playing how it has been. And you saw we just signed a great player to our team for defense, and our defense is going to get even better.
Leonard Williams.
Just keep playing the great defense and stay consistent on offense instead of great and then slow down. So stay the same all game.
Yeah, Leonard Williams is definitely a great addition to Bobby Wagner and Frank Clark's defense. But, yeah, this is going to be a close game in Baltimore. Definitely expect the offenses to go off, the defense making special plays. So, obviously, we go separate ways pick-wise, but I do think it's going to be a great game. Now, moving on to the other Sunday games. We got the Commanders and the Patriots. Obviously, disappointed with the Commanders right here, and based on the trade deadline. Obviously, they got rid of Montez Sweat and Chase Young. Sweat's in the Chicago Bears. Chase Young is with the San Francisco 49ers. On the offense, they're just not giving Sam Howell any protection at all, but he did play a great game against the Eagles, putting up 31 points, but still lost the game in disappointing fashion. And obviously, they have to move forward with no pass rush or defense in Chase Young and Montez Sweat. So, hate to say, I'm going to have to go with the Patriots, despite a really bad season from them. Obviously, Bill Belichick is getting cooked when the media is talking about him. Certainly, his team is nowhere near a shot at making the playoffs. But at the end of the day, they could catch a breaker here when they play Washington. Brighton, what's your pick?
Yeah, I think it'll be a decent game. Nothing special because, as you know, both teams aren't anything special. Commanders played great last week against the Eagles. Sadly, was not enough to overcome that. And with the trades, their defense has gotten much weaker. The Patriots also have not been playing good. I'm going to go with an upset. I'm going to go with the Commanders.
Yeah, I just want to see some fight, some passion, some heart from the offense right here, which they have been doing a solid job. Obviously coming off a bad game against the Giants and then playing a much better game against the Eagles, which they did put up, again, 31 points. But it just needs to give Sam Howell some protection because the O-line is a joke right now. And obviously Sam Howell's the most sacked quarterback this season right here. And defense, they just got to generate pressure. And if they can't get to Mac Jones, that'll be a disappointment for Ron Rivera's crew right there. So hopefully the Commanders can show some fight and some heart, some passion, and we can walk away from Gillette Stadium with a victory. But anyway, moving on. We got the Cardinals taking on the Browns in Cleveland. I'm going to take the Browns in this one. Obviously, Arizona, as you saw, they traded Josh Jacobs to the Minnesota Vikings. And obviously, a one-win season, not so promising. Meanwhile, Cleveland, obviously coming off a tough loss against the Seahawks. And their defense, they still look legit with Myles Garrett. And obviously, the quarterback situation, P.J. Walker has been phenomenal for them so far, leading them to, obviously, game-winning drive against the Colts, and obviously his offense played great out there in Seattle, but defense did not get it done out there, but they're looking forward to bounce back with this one. What's your pick?
Yeah, it's going to be in Cleveland. I'm pretty sure Deshaun Watson will be back this game. And you know the Cardinals, they're a disappointment, as always. And I don't even know who's starting as their quarterback this week since they got rid of Josh Dobbs. Maybe Kyler Murray's back, maybe not. We still have no idea on that timetable right there. And their defense is okay, nothing great. The Browns, they got a good offense. They have a good defense. I have to see the Browns bouncing back in this game and winning it, taking care of business.
Yep, and obviously the reports on Kyler Murray, he is taking reps in practice, but there's no timeline of when he's going to come back and play. But at the end of the day, Myles Garrett's defense will get the job done, and the Browns will walk away with a victory. Next up, we got, this should be an interesting battle between these QBs. We got Baker Mayfield's Buccaneers go against C.J. Stroud's Texans in Houston. I'm taking Tampa Bay in this one, not just because Tampa Bay's defense should be able to get to C.J. Stroud, even though he's been playing solid despite the loss. I just do think that Baker Mayfield will somehow edge through that defense, and their defense will put pressure on C.J. Stroud in this one. So I got the Bucs in this one. What's your pick?
Yeah, we got a home game for the Texans. Texans lost last week to the Panthers, which was the Panthers' first win of the year.
Right.
So that was not great. Bucs had a very close loss against the Bills. I'm gonna go with the Bucs in this game. I have faith in the Texans, but not enough to see them beating the Buccaneers, especially after that embarrassing loss to the Panthers. I'm gonna go Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield, but I think it'll be close.
Yeah, I expect more of this to be somewhere in the 20s, the lower 20s, but I do think it's more of a defensive game. Next up, we got the Bears with Badgett as their starting quarterback, taking on the Saints in the Superdome. I got the Saints winning this one. Yes, they're coming off a close win against the Colts in Indianapolis. It's just that their defense just did not show up, but Derek Carr somehow got out there, got himself together, and edged through Indianapolis. Meanwhile, Chicago, just what they displayed on Sunday Night Football, not promising at all. So I got, without further ado, the Saints winning that one. What's your pick?
Yeah, I have no faith in the Bears. Bears, sure, they got a good trade before the trade deadline, but it's not enough. They're still missing Justin Fields. Their offense has been playing bad. Their defense still will play bad. I get the Saints winning this one in a pretty big blowout. I think they'll win by 2 touchdowns. Derek Carr's been playing great, and I think he will show that again and take care of the Bears at home.
Yep, and nothing needs to be said on that matchup. Next up, this matchup could be a boring one. We got the Vikings taking on the Falcons in Atlanta. I'm going to take the Falcons in this one. Minnesota, brutal loss. They lost Kirk Cousins despite the win over the Packers. Obviously, it's a torn Achilles. Sad to see him go down with an injury. And obviously, they're starting a rookie quarterback in that matchup. It's going to be Taylor Heinicke that he's got to go up against. I do think Taylor Heinicke will show moments where he's going to be a warrior, and he will lead the Falcons to a game-winning drive, which he almost did. It's just that they lost the game to Tennessee because their receiver could not catch the football on 4th down, and that just cost them the game. Their defense got themselves together late in the game. It was just that their offense just could not get the job done. So I'm going to take the Falcons this one at home in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. What's your pick?
Yeah, Vikings, they were playing great. They were playing terrible at the beginning of the year, and then Kirk Cousins started playing great. They lost Justin Jefferson. They lost Kirk Cousins. I don't think they'll be able to play any. I think their season's over after the Kirk Cousins loss. I'm gonna have to go with the Falcons as well.
And of course, despite Desmond Ridder being benched, Taylor Heinicke is still a great quarterback, which I've seen while he played with Washington. He showed moments where he was a warrior, and he leads teams to a game-winning drive. Next matchup, we got the Rams taking on the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field. This matchup could go hand in hand. Both teams, not the best offenses in the league. They score in low-scoring situations. Green Bay obviously lost to Minnesota. Rams got demolished by the Dallas Cowboys. But at the end of the day, one team has to win right here. Aaron Donald has got to show up in this game. Matthew Stafford's got to get himself together. I have to go with the Rams in this one on the road in Green Bay. I do think that their offense could get it done. And yes, they're going to have moments where they're going to be looking bad. But it's just that their defense, Aaron Donald, will get to Jordan Love, send him some pressure right there. So, what's your pick?
Yeah, the Rams are currently the second worst team in the NFC West, and they need a bounce-back game if they want to stay in contention for playoffs this season, as my Seahawks are currently number 1, tied with the 49ers. But I have faith in the Rams to beat the Packers, who the Packers have not been playing great ever since Aaron Rodgers left. I'm going to have to go with the Rams.
And of course, Aaron Donald. Again, I have him as Defensive Player of the Year. I just hope that he bounces back. Now let's go to the afternoon games. And I don't know why that they put this game at 4:05. We got Colts taking on the Panthers in Carolina, a 1-win team, against a team that, yes, they played a close game, but they lost because their defense could not get it done. I'm going to have to go with the Colts in this one because nothing needs to be said for the Panthers. Bryce Young is still learning. It's a 1-win season. Not so promising for him. I do think that the Colts defense will send in pressure. Offensively, they have to just keep it together, keep it consistent, and move forward with the win. What's your pick?
I'm going to go with an upset in this game. I'm going to go with Bryce Young and the Panthers. I think Bryce Young played great last week, and I think after that one win, it gives their team the confidence to go into this home game strong against the Colts, who are coming off of a loss. I'm going to go with the Panthers in a close game, but I think Bryce Young might finally be ready for the NFL and get a big win this time.
Yes, that definitely gives them a lot of confidence after beating the Houston Texans. It just shows that they can win a ball game instead of losing out and getting yet another top 5 NFL draft pick. So I just hope that this will be close. Either way, they'll show the Colts what they're made of. Next up, oh boy, this is going to be this 4 o'clock game is going to be awful. We got the Giants taking on the Raiders, which both teams have a lot of bad things on the outside. Start with the Raiders. They just obviously fired their head coach, Josh McDaniels, and they obviously fired their GM as well. And this Davante Adams is just wasting his talent, obviously, with his offense. Jimmy Garoppolo not playing great whatsoever. And meanwhile, the Giants, flat out garbage against the Jets at MetLife. And obviously, they led them to a game-tying drive to send into overtime. And the Jets won it on a field goal, which obviously the Giants as well traded Dexter Lawrence to your Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, a lot of bad things flowing around both of these teams, but at the end, someone's got to win this game in Las Vegas. If I had to pick one, I'll take the Raiders because of Max Crosby and the defense, but they will not win it because of their offense and Jimmy Garoppolo, which is a guy that I do not have any trust in, but I do think their defense can get to Daniel Jones and one of the worst offensive lines in the league, and defense will get exposed right here. What's your pick?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Raiders as well. It's a home game. We're under new management, and the management looks ready to go with the new GM and the new head coach. I think the Raiders will get it done and keep moving forward, and I think after this new management change, their season will end up being a lot better than it was.
And yeah, hopefully they'll overcome.
And as you know, the Giants are disappointing, so I don't think the Giants have any chance to win.
Yeah, and based on what I've seen of Daniel Jones, he'll get pressured so much, and Raiders, they have to move on. But let's move on to this 4:25 game East time on Fox, which this could be yet another interesting game that I'm going to be watching. We got the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. NFC East matchup. This is going to be a great matchup right here. They got Dallas Cowboys obviously coming off a blowout win against the Rams. Eagles coming off a close game against the Commanders, 38-31. This game right here, defenses are going to obviously show up, but offensively, Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts will go off in this matchup right here. And if I had to pick one, I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles, which they are the best team in the league right now. It's 7-1. And I'm going to go with a final score of 34-31. I do think it's going to be an offensive shootout because the Cowboys' offense is special as well with CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, and Tony Pollard as well. And defense, Micah Parsons, and DeMarcus Lawrence. They're going to go off, but I do think Fletcher Cox and Jalen Carter, which hopefully is okay, will step up for the Philadelphia Eagles defense, and Jalen Hurts and this offense will get it done in a close matchup. So I got the Eagles edging the Dallas Cowboys. And funny fact, Stephen A. Smith will have his moment on First Take if the Eagles pull off this close win.
Yeah, watching the Cowboys, they're great. They're a great team. But I still do not have faith in Dak Prescott. He's a great quarterback, do not get me wrong, but I still do not have faith with him when he plays against good teams. He makes a lot of mistakes, and I think the Eagles will make him make mistakes and capitalize and win the game at home against the Cowboys. I'm going Eagles in a close game.
And of course, the atmosphere at Lincoln Financial Field is going to be absolutely next level. Energy will be high. And, of course, the fan bases will go off against each other. Next up, this is another game that I'm interested in seeing. Sunday Night Football. We have the Bills and Bengals in Cincinnati, which before I give my thoughts on this one, this is the site, obviously, where Damar Hamlin obviously hurt himself, got carted off on an ambulance. I just hope that doesn't happen again. He is going to play. And it's going to be physical. It's going to be a tough game. Both teams obviously fighting for a playoff spot. If I had to pick one, I'm going to go with Buffalo with this one. Even though the Bengals are coming off a win in San Francisco, I still think that Josh Allen will put up an MVP type performance, and that Bills defense will learn from last year's playoff loss to the Bengals, getting pressure on Joe Burrow, stopping the run game in Joe Mixon, and obviously protecting Josh Allen from Trey Hendrickson and Logan Wilson. So I do think it's going to be a defensive game in the beginning, but in the end, both offenses will try to come up clutch in the moment. I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills 31-24. What's your pick?
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with the Bills in this game as well. I have faith in the Bills. I know the Bengals are great, and Joe Burrow is great, and the Bengals' whole team is great, but I have faith in Josh Allen. I know Josh Allen will play great in this game to get his Bills that win, as this is a very important game for both teams. And Josh Allen knows he needs to play a little bit better so that his team can have a better chance of making the playoffs and maybe getting a bye, as they've been playing shaky throughout the last few weeks. Josh Allen knows he needs to get it done, and I believe him and the Bills will, especially, as you said, this is where DeMar Hamlin got hurt, and they'll give it their all to win this game for him.
And obviously, the AFC East standings show that Miami is leading their division, but it's not too late for Buffalo to take command of this division. They just need to win out the last 9 games or 10 games that they have, and hopefully that the Dolphins will get some losses. So it's not too late for Buffalo to get the division. And obviously they do have a tiebreaker because they beat Miami in Buffalo. And to finish this off for the Week 9 picks, we got Monday Night Football, which is obviously another game that I'm kind of interested in seeing. We have the Chargers taking on the Jets in MetLife. We cannot sleep on both of these teams. Obviously the Chargers coming off a blowout win against the Bears. And the Jets, the Jets coming off a bye week, it looks like, against the after they play against the Eagles, and then obviously had their bye. Now, no, they played the Giants last week at MetLife, which both teams shared the same stadium, but obviously the Giants were the home team. So now the Jets can play yet another game on primetime in front of their faithful to show what they are made of, despite a dramatic season, and obviously Aaron Rodgers being gone. But you cannot sleep on the Jets right here. I'm kind of concerned about how Justin Herbert has been playing right here, and he has looked inconsistent throughout the 7 games that he's played in right here. They're 3-4. The New York Jets defense is a defense that I kind of trust right here, and that Chargers O-line has been shaky right here. I have to go with the upset right here. I'm going to take the New York Jets in this one. I want to go with the Chargers, but I'm going to go with the New York Jets on primetime Monday Night Football on an upset right here. Their defense has been playing great. Trust me, C.J. Mosley will make their defense even better. And the secondary has been playing solid so far. And I was originally going to go with Justin Herbert, but I have legitimate concerns with him thus far. I'm going to take the New York Jets in this one. What's your pick for Monday Night Football?
Yeah, it will be a great game, and I agree with everything you said. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have to take LA Chargers. I think the Chargers will get it done. Justin Herbert knows he needs to get a win for their team to get it going again. I know they beat the Bears, but it's the Bears. You have to beat the Bears. He knows this is a great opportunity to let the whole NFL know that the Chargers are here for the playoffs and that they're ready. And they need to win this game, and I think Justin Herbert and the Chargers will get it done.
Yes, I do think it's going to be an offensive game. I'm going to go final score 28-24. And again, it's on primetime Monday Night Football. It will come with Sparks right here, and that will be a great way to end off Week 9 on a crazy note. And with that being said, that is our Week 9 NFL picks that we have thus far. And one more thing before we end this video right here is, looking at the AFC, these are a couple questions I have for Brighton right here. Looking at the AFC, 4 teams that are 6-2 are leading their respective divisions. Obviously, it's my Baltimore Ravens. We got the Chiefs, the Jaguars, and the Dolphins. Who do you see getting the number 1 seed in the AFC with the 4 teams coming in with a record of 6-2?
Yeah, it's a very contested division right there. And the Jaguars have a bye this week. The Chiefs, I do not have faith in the Chiefs this year. The Chiefs have been playing good, but I do not have faith in them. I think they are not going to make it very far, so I will rule them out. Now we have the Dolphins. The Dolphins have been playing great as well. I think the Dolphins will end up with the second seed, and that leaves your Ravens and the Jaguars. At the end of the day, I'm gonna have to say your Ravens. They've been playing solid, and I think if they can continue to do that and not get any injuries, I think the Ravens will end with the one seed. Now, watch out, however, though. The Jaguars are playing great, and Trevor Lawrence is looking deadly. So that might come back to hurt you guys in the future, as the Jaguars are playing great. And you got to watch out for those Bengals and the Bills. Those two teams, they have not great records, but you know that at any
Sorry, Brian. I was gonna put this in the chat that you cut off for a second right here, as you got time wind down. But yeah, I do agree with everything you said right here. Um, Obviously the Jaguars we have to play in week 15 on Sunday Night Football. And the Bengals we have to play Thursday Night Football at home. And then we got to look out for those Bills, like you just said. Maybe heading to the playoffs, who knows? And then we also have to face the Dolphins, second to last game at home, which they have to put that on prime time because I don't know why it's at a 1 p.m. game, but who knows? Because it's a flex schedule. Both teams are just fighting for a playoff spot. And one last thing before I end it right here. Looking at the NFC West. Obviously, the Niners are on a slump right now. You guys have all the momentum. Do you see your Seahawks winning the division despite the Niners' struggles and that they'll hopefully redeem themselves?
Yes, I think my Seahawks keep playing how they've been playing, and as our offense gets better every week, and as long as they can stay consistent, I think we have one of the best defenses in the league this season. As you know, we have Witherspoon, the rookie. He's been playing lights out, phenomenal, and he won NFC Defensive Rookie of the Month last month. And Tariq Woolen, he had his first pick of the season last week. Jamal Adams back has been helping a lot, and Frank Clark and Williams. I think with those two, we will play even better. And now it's just our offense and Geno Smith and everyone else. As long as they can step up, Geno needs to step up and keep playing and go back to how he was playing last year. And then if he can do that, then I think we can beat the 49ers and win our division.
Yes, it's still a tight finish heading into the Thanksgiving weeks in November, but it's a tight division, and it's obviously between Seattle and San Francisco for the division. So we'll see what happens throughout the rest of the season, and obviously we got settling for the Christmas month of December, and that should be a dramatic finish from there. But with that being said, that is all I gotta say. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This week's 9 NFL picks with me and my friend Brighton. And you can catch us later on potentially another video in the future. With that being said, that is all I gotta say. Let's get it.